I'm Melissa Taylor. I'm the Behavior and Training Manager at Friends for Life Animal Shelter. And I'm just going to take a minute and tell you a little bit about my credentials, because whenever you hire a behavior professional, you should ask about their professional. So I imagine that some of you guys have dogs or cats or pigs or whatever. And when you have behavior problems with them, you can hire an animal trainer or behavior consultant. Well, there are no laws that state whether somebody is qualified to be an animal trainer. So I will tell you about my credentials, because I think that's very important to let you guys know. So I am a certified behavior consultant K9, knowledge assessed through the Certification Council of Professional Dog Trainers. And I'm also certified in shelter behavior through the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants for both cats and dogs. And I've been in animal sheltering in behavior for 27 years. So yeah, I've been thinking about this stuff a lot. And part of my job, so one of the...
You mentor over 200 other shelters worldwide.
Yeah, so
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mom!
I want to brag on our children.
So yes, our behavior department has 4 concentrations, one of which is inter-shelter consulting. So I spent a great deal of my time. I actually just totaled up the numbers for you all today, and it's over 350 consulting hours with other shelters all over the US, but also in other countries in 2024. So that's just 1 year, but I've been doing that since...
Gosh, we've been with you more than 12 years.
Yeah, since at least, I've been consulting with other shelters at least since 2018. But anyway, so I think about this stuff a lot. When it was brought to my attention that these recommendations were tied to our shelter, I was flabbergasted, and I thought maybe there was a mistake, because there is no way that I would have consulted with somebody and given these recommendations. Because in our shelter, we have 7 core values. These are things that we hire and fire by, and we came up with them as senior leads. And so I like to embody this core value of being evidence-based. And so as I was, oh my gosh.
That is fine. Is there anything that's specific and pertinent to that?
Yeah, so one, a great deal of this policy concerns this animal behavior assessment, so I don't know if you all have done any research about what literature there is about euthanasia decisions in animal sheltering, but one of the kind of tomes, one of the biggest sources of best practice recommendations is the Association of Shelter Veterinarians Guidelines for Standards of Care in Animal Sheltering. So hopefully you guys have read that. And they state, quote, over the past 2 decades, studies have shown that behavior evaluation tests fail to reliably predict future behavior, particularly aggression in a new home. So I was really worried when I saw this, because it just stresses the role that this behavior assessment plays. And I'm not even talking about whether this is a standardized behavior assessment. Guess what? It's not. And I'm not even talking about that. The fact that it's here, like, oh, the dog, does this dog pull or does this dog bark at other dogs? That does not predict what the dog is going to do at home. And I would go so far as to say that when we pull animals from shelters, a great deal of the dogs we pull are from behavior euthanasia lists, where they use some kind of policy like this to make, they have, the walkers or the animal care folks know what the dog is doing, and they decide whether the dog is dangerous or not. We specifically pull those dogs, and guess how many of the dogs from local municipal shelters that we pull from behavior euthanasia lists turn out to be actually dangerous dogs? How many? What percent?
0.5.
0%. often joke that, hey, we need more dogs. Let's pull from the behavior euthanasia list because they turned out to be so great. Just a couple weeks ago, we pulled a dog named Daniel-san from Bark. And he was on the euthanasia list because they said that he was dangerous. They weren't even handling him at all. They actually, when our folks went over there, they gave our folks a catch pole to move him. They weren't walking him. He had feces all over his enclosure. And to make the long story short, he is adopted in a family with kids, and he loves them. He's met my children, and he got all wiggly waggly when he saw my kids. I would trust that dog with my own children. This dog that Bart said was dangerous. I don't villainize them. I know at this time they don't have people with the credentials to make these decisions.
Qualifications.
And that's the problem. The qualifications. And part of my job is to consult with animal shelters. In fact, there's a municipal shelter that I'm consulting with. And by the way, I come from the municipal shelter behavior department, so I'm not a stranger to open admissions and large open admission shelters. But I'm consulting with an open admissions municipal shelter here in Texas, and they are bringing their euthanasia numbers down and their intakes down, not from a policy like this, but one that is from another one of our core values. It's our innovation value. We pride ourselves in one that is from another one of our core values. It's our innovation value. We pride ourselves in thinking big and doing crazy things. That's what we say. Think big, do crazy things. So what crazy things is this municipal shelter doing? They're focusing on community outreach programs. They're focusing on building behavior volunteer programs, so they have qualified folks in their shelter to work with the dogs and cats. They're putting together programs like we have a play group program where folks, adopters can visit and see our animals playing together. 22% of the dogs that attend our play group get adopted by visitors who attend the play group. These are just these crazy ideas that seem to work a whole lot better than making up excuses for euthanizing animals. And I'm just here if you want to ask any questions to me. I'd love to help in any way. And
so would Friends for Life be willing to, when we do have these cases, being that y'all have the credentials of this type of behavior, are y'all willing to be able to help and take some of our pets that do require some extra help like that?
Good question, Omar. I wanted to ask him that.
We're willing to help you. We're willing to help you evaluate those animals adequately.
So, but we wouldn't be able to bring them over to you guys, being that y'all have some of these.
Would you want to bring them over to be evaluated? Is that what you're asking?
No, maybe to transfer them to you guys, being that y'all have the in-house help and the credentials to help these animals.
We would be happy to help you evaluate them, but I can't take the city contract from you.
But wouldn't a more sustainable solution be to help you all with training and building programs?
I agree with you there too.
I agree.
And would you be willing to consult on an alternative to this animal behavior assessment and euthanasia?
We would.
Absolutely.
We would.
Absolutely. That's my job.
Yeah. Think bigger
Thank you.
than would you take this animal that we can't deal with? Go to what if we could deal with? What a wonderful story about our shelter in the community to say we have this success.
Which would require more staff, credentialed staff, which we would need to get more of. Correct?
Well, actually,